Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reniker, Justin Shawls, Kenny Mack, and Josh Hall. We all dogs!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh Hall, one of your hosts today. Man, do we ever have a special guest lined up for you guys today. The other night, Justin and myself sat down with Derek Brown. That's right, D-Bro Fantasy Pros. Derek Brown joins the show, gives us his perspective on all things Cleveland Browns, the quarterback competition, Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders. We dive heavily into that conversation and a lot of things surrounding it on this episode. The conversation was so awesome. We spent a lot of time with Derek the other night. It was an amazing get-together. This is going to be split into 2 episodes for you guys because we had a lot to discuss. So the first thing we're going to talk about here today, obviously, is going to be focusing on the quarterback situation in Cleveland, get Derek's perspective, some deep analytical metrics that he has to share with you guys. I can't say enough about the wealth of knowledge and information that Derek possesses and brought to the episode. You guys are going to love it. And then the next episode, we look at all the other pieces on the Browns offense, the new wide receivers we drafted. We talk Jerry Jeudy. We talk Isaiah Bond. We talk Harold Fannin, Joe Royer, everybody who's going to be contributing on the Browns offense in 2026 and beyond. So let's get over to that conversation real quick. We're going to remind you guys before we do, go to jointhedogs.com if you want to be part of the 24/7 conversation in our just ever-growing, ever-expanding online Browns community. It is a great place. Get into the private Discord. Hang out with us during the Discord live episodes. Come on the show. Talk to us. Ask us questions. Get to know everybody in there. Me, Justin, Blake, Kenny Mack, and everybody else who's in the dog pack. It is a great time. And fantasy football signups will open on June 1st. I've got everything ready to go for the registration. All I got to do is make it live, and you guys can start signing up for the fantasy leagues, which, again, I keep reminding you guys, the drafts will be late August, early September, right before the season starts. But you want to get in now. You want to reserve your spot. All you got to do, be a member of the Dog Pack, and you can reserve a spot, no problem. So get in now, get in early, don't wait, and just let's have a good time. Let's get to know everybody in there and join the conversation at jointhedogs.com. Speaking of some fantasy stuff, we will get into a little fantasy talk with Derek Brown at the end of the second episode, at the end of part 2 of this conversation. But let's kick it over. Let's go part 1 right now with Derek Brown. All right, everybody. Like we said in the opening, we've got Derek Brown, fantasy analyst from FantasyPros. What's that look for?
I don't know. It's just my face, man. I don't know what to tell you. It happens.
So we got D-Bro joining us. He's so what do we call you tonight? He's a doer of things, knower of things, semi-knower of things. But he's going to tell us what he does at least believe based on his research and analysis of the Cleveland Browns for this season. We're going to talk about the quarterbacks. I want to dive into these rookies we drafted, primarily the wide receivers, Concepcion and Bossa. I know, Derek, you were high on those guys. Am I right about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, very, very right about that.
You listening to you and your breakdown of these guys is what had me so excited about them in the pre-draft process. And then once we did actually somehow select both these guys, I still don't know how that happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so we'll talk about all that. Justin's got some questions he wants to run through, so we'll just have a fun conversation here.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be a blast.
All right, man. Well, let's kick it off with the quarterback conversation, obviously. So we've got in Cleveland, I know this is one you love to talk about. It's Deshaun Watson, the $230 million 3 first-round draft pick quarterback for the Browns, who somehow, after all that, is not the quarterback by default. He is in a competition with Shedeur Sanders, the second-year, fifth-round pick from last year, who I believe he was your number one quarterback pre-draft. Is that right?
He was. He was my number one quarterback pre-draft. Post-draft, because of the draft capital and stuff, he fell down the board. I did move. It was Shedeur was my QB1 going into pre-draft. Jackson Dart was my QB2, but because of the draft capital stuff, I moved Dart up to my QB1. But I know I love Shedeur's game pre-draft. I mean, just as a prospect.
Yeah. And that's what I keep trying to reiterate, because, you get the comments on social media. Oh, he's just a fifth round pick. I'm like, this isn't a typical situation. When is the last time that a player was a consensus top 10 mocked player the entire pre-draft process and fell all the way to the fifth round? Like, that doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't happen. And, we could, I don't want to sidebar this into a long conversation about why that happened and stuff. I'll just suffice to say, I think a good bit of why that happened was his interviews with teams and stuff went very, very poorly. Having your dad kind of in your ear representing and where Dion comes from. And I mean, Dion doesn't give any kind of crap about it now. Cause the other thing about it is he's not in the league, so when you're pouring a lot of this stuff into your son's ear and advising him how to conduct yourself and do all this kind of stuff and things, I think Shedeur was kind of sold a bad set of goods by his own dad and how to conduct himself in some of these team interviews from everything I heard and what have you. So I think all of that kind of, led, plus your Dion son, it's kind of the media circus that's going to be around Shedeur and stuff like that too, whether you draft him in round 1 or round 4 and stuff. So it's kind of what team wants to take that on too. It's kind of not a 1-for-1 comparison, but when Tim Tebow was in the league, even though after years of proving he wasn't very good at quarterback, wherever he went, there was a gaggle of, it was a media circus no matter where he was. So I think you put all of that stuff together and you can craft a pretty good narrative of why Shedeur fell outside of the talent.
Well, that makes sense. But then on the talent side of things, though, let's take all that off the table. I know you, like you said, you had him very highly rated.
Yep.
I guess we'll just look at this season. What, in your opinion, what would be the best route for the Browns to take for their QB1?
Start Shedeur Sanders. Don't let Deshaun Watson see the field. Period. Full stop. Don't care. That would be the way to. You need to Deshaun is gone after this year. What good do you have by playing him this year? If he plays and he plays well, what? So he comes back to you after this year and tries to negotiate an extension, what have you. He's not a young quarterback. He's honestly been god awful when he's been on the field over the last few years when we have seen him. He's coming off of 2 Achilles tears. What if any of this helps your franchise? If Shedeur can take a step forward and he can at least look like an answer as a franchise quarterback or give you hope that he could be that guy, that's probably not going to preclude you from drafting a guy next year. If this team wins more games than anybody thinks that they can, then again, that's a positive, not a negative per se. And from a culture building standpoint with a new head coach, that's what everybody's like. They go through this oh, well, they need to suck. They need to lose games.
We've done that.
But from a realistic standpoint, all of these guys are fighting for their jobs and their livelihoods. Every one of those guys that is on that active roster is not only fighting for, I want to keep my job in the NFL, both for this year And the guys that are in on any 1-year deals or the guaranteed money falls off their contracts after this year, they're fighting for a job next year. So nobody is going to go out there regardless and try to lose, play bad, or suck. That's just, it's a ridiculous narrative anytime it gets thrown out there, because it's like, it's just, you're saying with supposed common sense that players want to play bad for what? The players that are on this team right now don't give a crap where they pick next year, because they don't even know if they're going to be on this team next year, if everything works out right or it doesn't work out right. So I just think it's a load of garbage. Like, they should be starting Shedeur Sanders. I understand from the perspective, and this is where I think that, like, how it's getting framed right now of it's a competition. You heard a lot of the stuff like coming out of like the very, very beginnings of, this offseason post-draft of like Watson's the leader of it. Bro, they're in T-shirts and shorts. He ain't leading nothing. They haven't had real practices yet. And now that we have OTAs opening up, they're splitting reps. But I was told Deshaun Watson was definitively ahead and he was QB1. Like, so let's cut the crap. Like, I think a lot of that is, if with Monka being a new head coach and culture and everything, I think a lot of this comes back to he has to earn it. And you need to make him earn it. So if you want your young quarterback to prove it, to earn it, make him win the damn job. That's fine. But that's what I'm taking away from this. And before we get in further deep, any deeper into this, like, I just want everybody to fully understand too. Shedeur came out of college as a prospect. Like, we need to all be kind of rewind of who he was as a prospect as well. In 2024, amongst all FBS quarterbacks, at least 150 dropbacks, he was 3rd in passing grade. He was 4th in adjusted completion rate. He was 12th in yards per attempt. Deeper metrics, he was 18th in deep ball completion rate, 17th in pressure adjusted completion rate. I just keep rattling this off because it's all true. 2nd in clean pocket adjusted completion rate and 8th in clean pocket passer rating. So regardless of whatever that you look at that has tangible meaning as a prospect, Shedeur looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, we were all on board here on this show for taking him too.
Yeah.
During the draft process.
I was okay with too. Yeah. Figure it out. Figure your quarterback situation out. Something to touch on that you said, like the whole guys talking about, the just losing games, purposely tanking. I've argued that so much that look what not purposely tanking, but look what not winning games got us the last couple years. We almost lost our best player. Myles Garrett was ready to absolutely walk out the door on this franchise, a team, a city that he loves. And I'm like, those are the risks that you run. You want to talk about, we got to tank for Jeremiah Smith or whoever it is, the next big name that's going to be number 1 or whatever on the draft board. Those are the consequences that you're going to face. Is you might lose your franchise player. He might just want to get the hell out of here. He's wasted enough time off his career. But I just thought that was interesting. You brought that up.
Well, you might lose the entire freaking clubhouse because none of these guys, like, nobody goes to a certain team or signs a contract or wants to be in an environment where losing is the end goal.
Right.
Losing is the onus. Like, I mean, just again, going from this a common sense standpoint. Like, anybody that played any type of organized sports growing up, whether that was high school, college, what have you, did anybody that put on cleats, pads, a jersey at all, or had any type of level of competition with any freaking sport, did anybody go into it saying, hell yeah, baby, let's lose our asses off. Let's freaking lose. Let's lose. Come on.
I heard the JV roster's got a lot of young guys coming up that are going to be good for next year.
Exactly.
Like, what are we talking about? I agree, man. I'm with you.
It's just, but people don't think about it. They hear the narrative that's pushed out there by bigger media or whatever, or people with talking points. And it's like, oh yeah, they gotta suck for this guy. They gotta lose. It's like, it's so freaking stupid.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
And to your point, I think the idea of tanking would be more of to me, it's more of a front office approach to everything because, or maybe not even that. Well, yeah, I guess so. That and coaching.
But if they tank and they lose, can't the front office all lose their jobs too?
Yeah,
almost. You do run that risk unless you have some sort of assurance, because then it's like, well, hey, we put the best players on the field. They just weren't all that they weren't very good. But it doesn't help anybody to go down that path, like you said.
No.
Because, Justin, how many times last year did I bitch about the losing culture that we were inside with Kevin Stefanski, with this Browns team? We just couldn't get out of it. There was no accountability. Nobody got held accountable for anything.
I remember literally Amari Cooper, pros pro Nick Chubb version of wide receiver, rolling his eyes during a play call and just going, "We are screwed." It was like the second game of the season. I'm like, "We are so screwed. We are
that entire
trouble."
season." I mean, dude, he was giving up on routes and stuff too. Like you could see if you turned on the all 22, you saw what Cooper was doing and what he wasn't doing too.
Yep. And then coming off of a year where he dominated too, like he was an absolute dude the year before, and then it was just complete,
well, and that was 2024. That was the last time Deshaun Watson started games for this team. It was the first time. It was the first time we saw him after Derek. I know you mentioned the 2 Achilles tears. We haven't seen him yet, but that was the first time in 2024 we saw him after the shoulder surgery. That we didn't really have a good case study of that ever happening to another quarterback in the league that I could find. I think that was pretty much the first case of that sort of break that he had. He looked terrible. He couldn't throw the ball. I mean, we were already having problems with dirt balls and stuff with him completely healthy. And then it got even worse. He couldn't throw the ball past 5 yards and everything was in the dirt. Or if he did go past 5 yards, it was 10 yards over the guy's head out of bounds. We won 1 game in 7 starts in 2024 with him at quarterback. And that's why I just don't see I just don't understand why anybody would think it's going to be better now.
I don't either. And the thing about it is I do agree with them making an open competition to make him earn it. But outside of that, like, why would you be starting Deshaun Watson, regardless of anything that we've already mentioned here and stuff too? But also, if you want to talk about the ability of the offensive system and structure, after 2 Achilles tears, does anybody really think we're going to access Deshaun Watson's mobility? Like, is that really still a thing? Whereas you look at Shedeur Sanders, his final 5 starts, he was averaging almost 30 rushing yards per game. There is some mobility, some untapped potential there with what he can do with his legs. I'm not telling anybody that he's going to go out and he's going to be freaking Lamar Jackson. But can he give you 300 yards on the ground, maybe 4? Can he give you the ability to, whether it's QB movement, motion, boot action, things of that nature, the RPO game, and all of these parts and pieces? Is he a more mobile quarterback than Deshaun Watson at this point of his career? I don't think that should shock anybody by anybody saying that is a fact.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong, like everybody's overreacting to these smoke screens in the draft or sleeping on a prospect, you can literally take the other side of the market. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real-world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this. Simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So head over to Kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS. Deposit just $20, and Kalshi's going to match you. They're going to put $20 free into your account. That's a great deal to get started. So again, Kalshi.com/dogs, $20 match when you deposit $20 into your account. Hey, Browns fans, we just partnered with Fanatics to bring you guys the best Browns gear available. Head over to brownsmerch.com to check out everything in our storefront. I know you guys want that new Shedeur Sanders #2 jersey. We've got those in there. Rock the Depoy and the D-Roy jerseys with Myles Garrett and Carson Schlesinger, along with the other studs from last year's draft. We've got a collection of Browns hats, T-shirts, and hoodies you can browse through too. Again, that's brownsmerch.com to check out our Browns gear powered by Fanatics.
Insurance isn't a one-size-fits-all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy. Or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple for you to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
He averaged more yards rushing per game in his 7 starts than Deshaun Watson did in his last 7 starts that he played. And Shedeur averaged more yards per scramble, which, and what's another thing that people don't remember or even realize, especially if you're not like in it like we are all the time as Browns fans, Shedeur Sanders had no rushing game. There was no run game for him to lean on in our offense last year whenever he was starting. He was our leading rusher 3 out of his 7 starts, and he was only 7 yards shy of being the leading rusher a 4th game. That's
doesn't
insane.
Surprise me at all. And, kind of going in tandem with that, he had no offensive line.
None.
Whenever he was back there. I know I sent this in DMs earlier in the week, but during his 7 starts in weeks 12 through 18, he was pressured at the 3rd highest rate in the freaking NFL on 50.4% of his dropbacks. Like, you look at all of these different factors. Jerry Jeudy is massively overrated as a player. Harold Fannin was probably his only credible receiving threat on that entire freaking depth chart last year. There wasn't much of a run game. They couldn't block anybody to save their lives. Shedeur got no first team reps. Kevin Stefanski, honestly, I think it's a fair question to ask. Did he honestly want the kid to fail? Because I don't think he set him up for success. So you stack all of this just on top of each other against Shedeur, and it's like, what the hell did you expect him to do? What did you expect him to do?
And what he did do was impressive considering all that, to me.
He almost single-handedly beat the Titans by his damn self if they didn't screw him over and pull the Judkins nonsense at the freaking goal line, man.
Some of the we did that game live, and we're going, why are we going for 2?
Yeah,
we don't need
again. Yeah. Goofiness, just straight up goofiness.
Yep.
And the play call was hilarious. We laughed hard, didn't we, Justin?
I cried tears of, I don't know if it was joy, but I definitely laughed so hard that I had tears running out of my eyes because just listening to our other co-host freaking out. It's great stuff. It's
visceral pain, man.
Just pain. Yeah, pain. It's just not even emotionally damaged anymore. Just like, whatever you got, just throw it at us. Oh, fake Wildcat reverse, yes. For 2, for no reason, hell yeah, let's do that.
It's like a Bond torture scene, man, when the guy's getting hit in the nards and he's like laughing and crying. He's in so much freaking pain. That's the only thing I can compare it to.
Yes.
Yep, that was Kevin right there. Oh, and let's execute this play with rookies and some UDFA guys. That'll work out real well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, and speaking, you said they had no offensive line. We talked about the no run game. UDFA wide receivers last year, man. It was, you got Malachi Corley. We got off the Jets practice squad. Gage Larvadan.
Bond.
Isaiah
Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, those were our top guys after Jeudy. Cedric Tillman's nowhere to be found. So it was brutal. Last year was just all around bad situation.
Yep. but you look at how, dude, if I was a Browns fan right now, I'd be incredibly happy about the direction of the last two drafts and where the direction the compass is pointing right now for this franchise, man. Like, baby, we could be off to the running this year. I seriously, I'm not trying to just blow smoke up your butts, but like these last two draft classes have moved some needles, and there's still a lot of things that I know we're going to get into of like things that have to go right, that right now on paper might look very rosy of an outlook, but we still have to see that like these positives come to fruition. So like, but I think that the big takeaway for me over these last two draft classes for this front office is, it's fantastic. Like I know, for other fan bases and like say like the Eagles and the Ravens and however people are like, how he's doing it again, bro. Andrew Berry is doing it again. Like he is absolutely smashed over these last two draft classes. I don't know what they changed inside of their front office as far as process and how that all looks, but the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. These last two draft classes have been freaking awesome.
Well, Justin knows I think it had a lot to do with the removal of Paul DePodesta.
Sure. There you go.
I think that could play a part of it. Yeah. Sure. I don't disagree.
Because,
don't disagree at all.
And yes, DePodesta was still here technically during the draft last year, but he was taking that job, the baseball job, because as soon as the MLB season was over, he was gone. Like he had that job locked and loaded. He was out. And so this year, obviously not there. And the draft approach was way different because I feel like they were very analytical and they were just, they weren't taking football players. We complained about that all the time. Like just why can't we just watch film and say, this guy's a good football player, take him? Like, it's not that hard, I feel like. And the last two drafts, we've done that outside of Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, which I'm very curious of who was in the draft room pounding the table for Gabriel when they were on the clock versus, even taking Shedeur with that pick.
It's Kevin.
It's Kevin, yeah.
That's my lean, too. I think it was definitely Stefanski, especially. And, dude, it's like, I don't hate Dillon Gabriel, the player, but there's so many limitations with his game just because of his height. And when we get into like quarterback play and you're looking at like what are actual things like that can limit a quarterback, whether it's hand size and speed and all this other kind of stuff. I think the hand size thing has a little bit of merit, but it's a lot of fluff and a lot of goofy. I think the quarterback height discussion is absolutely real. And just from a common sense standpoint, these guys cannot see the middle of the field. And for everybody that doesn't think that that's real and they want to point to Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, it's like, yeah, I can also pick up Dillon Gabriel, Bryce Young, a ton of other freaking quarterbacks where it is emphatically real that they cannot access the middle of the field. You have to get these guys on the move, or you have to do offensive line spacing and things like that. Like Sean Payton designed his offense and how their blocking schemes, everything. So Drew Brees could actually see and diagnose the middle of the field. But that also goes back into why Payton has also been a huge proponent of the screen game and the running backs and the passing game to also counteract that. That's a staple of his offense. But going back to all of this, Dillon Gabriel is a limited quarterback. It is what it is, man. And that's not like, I'm not shading him, but because of his height, that's a real thing. And you saw it last year when he played.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you go ahead, Justin.
I was just going to say, even before that, we used to get frustrated about Baker Mayfield getting balls batted down at the line. You know what I mean? We used to get upset about that and have conversations about how we got to get that guy out in space and, get him into passing lanes so that, he could see. We worried about the line with that kind of stuff. So, and Gabriel's shorter, a lot shorter.
Yeah. Well, and it's very evident that last year when the rookies came in, Dillon Gabriel was taking first team reps right off the rip. They just, here you go. Kevin said, here, you're taking first team reps along with Joe and Kenny Pickett at the time. And Shedeur was the afterthought. Fast forward a year later, Dillon Gabriel's taking, I think he threw 4 passes today in team drills at OTAs. It's all Deshaun and Shedeur. So, obviously it was a Kevin thing for sure.
Oh, I fully believe it was a Kevin thing. And, it just screams to me like almost the way that Stefanski handled all of this. And, dude, just if you want to zoom out from like a body language standpoint, anytime that he was ever asked any questions about Shedeur, anytime that they ask him about the draft process and selecting him and stuff. Just read his body language. Like, just put the TV on mute and watch him throughout an entire presser. You could almost pick it out when they ask him questions about Shedeur Sanders. Like, he just looked like he was trying to crap out a pearl. Like, it was automatically like he was tense, he was awkward. And I'm just like, look, man, like, if that's how you want to treat the kid, look, nobody can stop you, but that doesn't mean it's right.
No, totally agree with you on that. So I guess before we shift into some of this other talk, you sent me a couple stats the other day that I want you to read out for everybody on, it was the deep ball passing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Deeper metrics on the deep ball passing between Shedeur last year and Deshaun in 2024, guys. This is very interesting information here.
Yeah, so last year amongst 26 qualifying quarterbacks for Shedeur Sanders, and these 26 had at least 15 deep ball attempts. Shedeur Sanders was third in highly accurate throw rate and 13th in catchable target rate. Now, a lot of his other passing metrics didn't look great on a per dropback basis, but those numbers, I don't care however you splice them, they're really freaking good. Yeah. Now, you juxtapose that with Deshaun Watson in 2024. Deshaun Watson in 2024 amongst 43 qualifying quarterbacks with at least 15 deep ball attempts. I know that everybody is automatically going to just think and know that they're not going to be good stats. And bingo, you're right. They're not. They're horrible. They're bottom 5 in the same 2 categories of highly accurate throw rate and catchable target rate amongst 43 qualifying quarterbacks in 2024. Deshaun Watson was 40th in highly accurate throw rate and 42nd in catchable target rate on deep balls. So it's just a large grab bag and not good.
and like you said, out of 43 qualifying quarterbacks for Watson, there was only 26 that qualified for that metric. Right?
Yeah, for last year for Sanders. Yep,
an even larger group of guys, and he was still at the bottom of the barrel there.
Yep. It's just not good, man. Like, whatever magic Watson had, and dude, we could also go back through Watson's tenure in Houston. There was a lot of bad teams, a lot of broken plays, a lot of backyard. I don't want to hurt Browns fans bringing up a name of yesteryear, but a lot of Johnny Manziel football that was being played in Houston, of a lot of let's run around in circles and chuck it deep, or I'm going to use my legs, and a lot of that other stuff. And it's like, he can't do that at this point of his career. He just physically can't do it.
No, we talk about it all the time, how the mobility and the athleticism looked like it had taken a drop off when he was healthy.
Yep.
Now we're talking, like we said already, 2 Achilles tears. This is going to be his age 31 season. You know, I can't believe the people that actually think there's a chance he's going to play the way he did when he was 24.
No, that's a fool's errand. Anybody saying that or truly believing that is honestly lying to themselves.
Yeah.
And fine, like, people can clip this up. If Watson goes out and has a stellar season, clip it up, Browns fandom, and post it everywhere. Fine. I don't care, because anybody that's going to tell you they really believe that that's going to happen, it's just foolish. It really is. And if it does come to fruition and it does happen, fine. I'll eat all these words. I'll put them on a platter and I'll tear it up, man. Salt and pepper all day. Love it. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, we're already hearing the stuff, that he looks great at OTAs and the mini camp and stuff. Like you said, it's shorts and T-shirts.
Yeah.
But like me and Justin
Routes on air.
Before. Yeah.
Yep.
This happens every year.
This is every year.
2024. This is 2023. We got the reports from training camp and stuff. Man, he looks so great and everything. It's like, awesome.
Yep.
Game start, not so great.
It's routes on air and practices on air, and a lot of this stuff. That's also I feel like with everybody that's truly dialed into their team, and this is not just Browns fandom specific, but be very careful of the content that you consume as far as from beat writers. There are a whole lot of fanboy bloggers out there that pace themselves as being beat writers, but it's really just like, hey, we're just going to hype the hell out of whatever we possibly can hype for clicks and social media and all that kind of crap, or it gets picked up and backlinked somewhere, not because its actual substance, but because, it's a little bit of self-serving kind of content.
I think that's like where all Browns fans are frustrated right now, is because you see Cleveland media, kind of they're basically, trying to make some kind of agenda for clicks probably, but every excuse in the book for Watson, whether it was rust or, a lot of stuff going on mentally in off field, on field, injuries. Then last year ended. We're coming off of wins. We're excited about the future of the team. We have another great draft. And then all of a sudden we're just shitting on Shedeur and he sucks and he makes mistakes in games that aren't fixable for a rookie. Like I don't understand what happened exactly. Like as far as with this team, I left last year going, I'm excited. We beat two teams that used to shit on us every year in the Steelers and, like in teams like that, and we're coming away with wins and we're complaining and we're saying that we don't have a future with this kid. And that we're going back to Watson. We're doing Watson 5.0 experiment. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. It's frustrating to me. I was a guy that defended Watson. Oh yeah, it was rust. You took a year and a half off, sure. Lots of stuff going on. I'm at the point where I'm done defending. Like there's nothing to defend. Like you said, the future is very it's common sense. If you want this team to be successful moving forward, that's not the guy. It's not. That's worst case scenario. Like, okay, maybe you win some games and stuff like that, but you're still financially screwed. You don't know what you have with your young players, like as far as quarterback go. It's just such a mind-boggling situation that this team has gotten itself into as far as just what's being put out there. I'm not sure that it's like that in the building, but just what's being reported and said is insane to me.
This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox for Pets. Browns fans, ButcherBox for Pets has a deal you cannot pass up for your four-legged family members. Right now, you get 50% off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Just go to butcherboxforpets.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. It can get confusing because we're the dogs, we love our fellow dogs, our dog pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful. But let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. And they're not just pets, like I said, they're part of the family. So the question is, what are you actually feeding them? At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. I know our house wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. Absolute dumbest dog in the world, but we love him like crazy. And it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of those factory processed blocks from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to add dog food to your shopping list ever again. ButcherBox delivers their high-quality food right to your door. Just choose the delivery schedule that you need for your dog, and you can change, modify, pause, or cancel your plan at any time. So try it out today. Your dog will love you for upgrading their meal times. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs and use promo code DOGS, DAWGS, to get 50% off. That's right, half off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition fresh dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Minimum purchase of just $34. 50% discount applies to subscription orders only. One use per customer, and you can cancel at any time. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs. This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox. Browns fans, you know that spring is right around the corner, and there's no better feeling than stepping into that sunshine, ripping off that old cover, and firing up the grill. And ButcherBox has the perfect deal for you to get the best meat onto that grill this spring. Head to butcherbox.com/dogs, DAWGS right now, and new users will get their choice between free chicken breasts for a year or ground beef in every box for the lifetime of their subscription. And if you're just placing a one-time order, make sure you guys use promo code DOGS, DAWGS at checkout to get our podcast discount. With ButcherBox, you get to choose your box and how often it's delivered. With the custom classic box, for example, you get exactly what you and your family need for the warmer weather. Choose from over 80 different products, including meat and seafood. Plus, you can manage your entire subscription online and change your box type, product selections, frequency, or delivery date anytime. Shipping is always free. Deliveries come straight to your door on your schedule, and you can cancel anytime. So what are you guys waiting for? Head over to butcherbox.com/dogs right now. New users, you guys are going to get your choice between free chicken breast for a year or ground beef in every box for the lifetime of your subscription. And again, if you're just placing a one-time order, use promo code DOGS at checkout for our podcast discount. That's butcherbox.com/dogs.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. And I'm pulling this up as we're kind of talking right now, but I'm kind of curious too. It's like, as we're kind of discussing this, and I know that everybody's pushback will be, oh, well, all right, well, what are you going to do if you start Shedeur and this team surprises people and they win more games than anybody thinks they should be in or they should win? And that's all because of Shedeur. And people are going to automatically say, okay, fine, but going back to the, we need to tank, we need to suck for a quarterback. Okay, fine. If you don't want to believe that Shedeur can be your long-term franchise passer, okay, fine. I get it. I get it. When Deshaun Watson's contract comes off the books after 2026, and I just pulled this up, Cleveland right now, as it stands, has $45 million in cap space, the 13th most in the NFL in 2027. So if this team does surprise, and let's give the fever dream pitch. Shedeur starts all the games this year. They're in the running for a wild card. They don't make it there, but they win 9 games this year, and they're a game over 500. And then everybody's like playing the whole push and pull of, but they won too many games. Now they're out of the quarterback market. Does nobody understand that, okay, with this 2027 NFL class that's coming in with all these quarterbacks, you're going to have other quarterbacks that get displaced in that process. And this team will actually have cap space to play with to maybe go out and sign or trade for a quarterback, even if they take themselves out of the quarterback market in the NFL draft. And I'm not saying just wash, rinse, repeat, and let's basically repeat the sins of yesteryear of like, well, Deshaun Watson, that screwed us. That blew up in our faces trading for a quarterback. But they will have the optionality of, either we draft a guy or we sign a guy or something like that. They will have multiple routes to a quarterback, even if like they don't want to go with Shedeur as their long-term franchise quarterback. They will still have options.
I've heard the same, even worse. I've heard, so that was a nice way of saying it. I've heard, what if they win 9 games? How are we going to get our quarterback next year? Like, he's not even part of the success of doing any of it. And it's like, my thing is all I heard was 2026 was going to be the year of the quarterback in the draft. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. It straight up wasn't, man. I don't know. And obviously everybody were excited about the 2027 draft as far as, whether you're a football fan, fantasy fan, whatever, but it's not all guaranteed, like the mocks that end at the end of the year never end up being, we always laugh. Who was it this past year?
Klubnik was number one projected guy to go to
Drew Aller was a first round quarterback, baby.
Drew Aller, yeah.
Garrett Nussmeier, but Arch Manning was going 101. Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you just laid out there. Yeah. And I keep poking people about all the hype about this 2027 class. And that I feel like that's just the realm that we live in now. It's like, this class isn't the class. Next year's class, baby, that's going to be the class. Right. That's the class where you're just, and it's like, man, come on, man. Like, we're living in an NIL era. Guys are staying in school longer than they ever have, because and more power to them. Right. They are professional football players right now, getting paid millions of dollars in life-changing money. So if you could secure the bag for you and your family and the rest of your life, regardless of whatever the hell happens to you in the NFL, and you go to the NFL, you rip up your knee and you never play another freaking snap outside of your rookie season, you've already got generational wealth in your bank account. Kudos to you, young man. Yes, let's go. Outside of that, we're doing what? We're lining the pockets of fat cats and boosters and stuff for colleges because that money's better served in their pockets? Hell no. So with all of this stuff, it goes back to, it's the hyping of next year and getting the buzz and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, but what if half these quarterbacks go out and they play like crap, or half of them stay in school, or a lot of them go out and don't play good, and then they don't come out, or they do come out, and we're like, well, they were really good the year before, but they're not really good now, so I don't know what to do. It all goes back to what you were just laying out there. Yep. So, yes, this all goes back to, if the Browns win more games than people think they're going to, and Shedeur really looks like he can be a short and long-term answer for this franchise, if the franchise wants to invest in him and keep building up the situation around him, I think it's smart. If they want to pivot off of him, they will have the money in the cap space to where they have this flexibility of finding an answer. If they don't think that Shedeur is the answer past 2026, they'll have these, they can figure it out.
Yeah. And I guess like listening to all that too, if the Browns do have a better season than people think, and it's largely due to the success and the next step that Shedeur takes in his development and all that kind of stuff. Even if the Browns aren't ready to come out and say like, oh, this is our long-term, it's only been 2 years. We still have 2 more years of his 5th round rookie contract. What is the rush? I know everybody, we got to find the franchise guy. We got to get him in here. Why? If he's good enough to win you games right now and there's no like obvious clear upgrade answer next year, just keep rolling with him, because we took Baker Mayfield #1 overall and thought that's our guy. He's here long-term. That didn't work out. So you just never know how these things are going to play out. I just don't understand the rush to move past him when it's not like his contract's expiring like Deshaun's is.
It's the rush to move past him because Narrative Street and people just generally don't want to like him. And so it's how can we marginalize? How can we shove him to the side? How can we talk about anybody else being an option outside of Shedeur Sanders? And I'm not saying that like everybody has to like the person and love, how he carries himself, the things that he says and stuff like that. You can dislike the way that he carries himself at a podium or the answers that he gives. You can't push back on this kid and saying that he is a bad human, though. Right. He works hard. The things that he's done, he's earned a lot of, he's earned it, man. Like he has. He is an NFL quarterback and he's earned that. You don't see him getting into trouble off field. Like he's not out there doing all this idiotic stuff like freaking Rashee Rice and who have you and stuff, or in the news for domestic violence or anything of that nature. So it's like you got a problem with the kid because you got a problem with either him or his dad or both of them, or you just got a bone to pick with the fact that you just want to hate him because, whoa, it's fun to hate on people in the year 2026. So I agree that people are so quick to dismiss and move past him. And I'm like, but what if you already got the franchise guy on your depth chart and he is on a rookie deal for this year and 2 more years past that, and he can be that leader? What if? Yep. What if that's the case? That's what we've been dreaming for. That's exactly since 99. That's what we've all wanted, and we've all been so quick to jump on that. Where we are literally rotating 3-4 quarterbacks a year. This is normal business out here since 1999. This is what we do. Bring 3 quarterbacks in, and then we'll bring 3 more in next year, and it's just. That is, like you said, that's the answer. Find your franchise guy. Just, I don't understand why you would want to sabotage that at all. Look, the other thing about this, and I'm very curious of y'all's take on it too, is because y'all, obviously y'all are tied in with the fan base. Y'all are fans of the team and stuff, so you have a much better read on this situation too. Is it just like, is this also just another situation too of like, we just got we just have to hate what we have and want something else. Like it's never good enough, because I felt like the Cleveland Browns fan base loved Baker and then hated Baker while he was there, regardless of he's playing through injuries. He shouldn't even have been out there on the field, and he's putting his body on the line for the team. They don't win. And it's like he goes somewhere else and he has success in Tampa Bay. And it's like, oh, crap. Now I wish we had Baker now. It's like, but when you had him, you hated the guy. So it's like, what do you want? You had him. You didn't like him. You disrespected him. And he goes somewhere else and he has success and he rebounds in his career. And then it's like, oh, now we wish we had Baker. Oh, no. And we're mad. We're mad that he's being successful. Exactly. Now. You're the fan base was mad, but it's like when you had the guy, you hated him. Yeah. So what do you want? You just want to be mad? I don't know. But again, like, am I off base here?
No. So no, you're not. This is basically what it is. The Baker thing too, which is interesting, and I don't know how everybody feels about this nationally, but like from Cleveland fan base, he needed to grow up a little bit. I think while he was in Cleveland, and he went through a lot of crap. Like I think him going to Carolina, Rams, everything. I'm happy for the guy. Like I'm not a guy that's going to go and bash Baker. I'm also not a Baker bro. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. So like my thing is I'm like, hey, good for him. I hope him success and all that. If we're playing him, I hope we, absolutely shit on him. But like, I'm not actively like waking up Sunday mornings and going, hey, screw Baker Mayfield. That guy, he get us a raw deal, asking for a trade when we were getting a new quarterback. Now at the same time, like when we did the Deshaun Watson trade, I remember looking at my mom, who's like a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, and being like, she's like, I don't like this at all. And I was like, this is the best quarterback that we've ever had. I think this could be the future. And I have never been so absolutely missed on and just absolutely mind blown how quick of a decline that was. But no, this is normal. This is just Cleveland fandom. We rotate quarterbacks. We're never, even when we think that we have something, it's almost like we self-sabotage it anyway. And we're excited for the next thing. I don't understand it.
Sometimes you just want to hug somebody and just say, like, give somebody a warm embrace and then slowly lean over and into their next to their ear and say, it's okay to be happy.
Yeah,
it is. This is a safe space. You can be happy. Oh,
it's rough. I've literally, if you got on and got upset about the Browns right now, I guarantee you somebody would be like, but what about the Cavs? They stink and they screwed it up. No matter what, like we would find something, or the Indians are, not looking great, or the Guardians, we will always find some, depression in our fandom.
Or they go to the Fever. Caitlin Clark's overrated. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we will. We just, it is part of our deal.
So our legacy media in Cleveland doesn't help the situation.
No,
I think Justin probably agree with me on that one.
That's very fair.
They feed on the negativity. Obviously, it's a pay-per-click kind of business anyhow, but the discourse comes from the quarterback stuff, and I think maybe a lot of it's they're so used to not having the quarterback. We have these quarterback discussions every year. What do we do if we don't have a quarterback discussion? Mm-hmm. What else are we going to talk about? Okay, so one of our leading reporters in the media is Mary Kay Cabot, and I call her the anybody but Shedeur because
she was also the anybody but Baker. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, okay, but like last year, this was during the season. When Shedeur was playing, she was already on radio shows talking about, the Browns need to use one of their high picks next year on a quarterback. It's like, can we just see what this guy can finish doing here? And then during the pre-draft process, she wanted Ty Simpson at 6. And she's telling everybody, hey, Dylan Gabriel's going to be right in this quarterback mix with everybody else. And it's like, can we just stop with all these other guys?
Again, be mindful of the content that you consume, Cleveland fans. That's all I can say. I'll take the high road with it, but that's all I'll say.
I understand the business. It is a business, but it
is a business.
It's not good. It's bad. It's bad for business.
You have the leeway and the freedom to conduct yourself how you see fit with players and around that. You can also fashion stories that are factually correct and not just click hungry and not just BS for the sake of BS.
Well done, brother. Yep.
What I tell you guys, an amazing conversation we're having here with Derek Brown from Fantasy Pros. Make sure you guys go check him out. Follow him on social media. See the work that he's doing over at FantasyPros.com and Betting Pros, and all the work that he is putting into the industry. This is a very well-respected member of that fantasy industry, but really just football knowledge in general, because again, we kind of talk about this on the next episode, you guys will see, I think, but if you can evaluate players for fantasy football purposes, fantasy football is a direct reflection of what you're doing on an NFL field. So it all correlates, it all connects, it all works together. But we'll dive into Derek's opinions on Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston, Joe Royer, these players in the next episode. We're really excited to bring you guys that content again. Go to jointhedogs.com, get in, now. Get ready to sign up for the fantasy football leagues. June 1st is when the registration opens, so don't miss that. We got a Dog Pack Discord live episode. We're tentatively planning for sometime this weekend, so if you want to be a part of that, if you want to come on the show, ask us questions, get your thoughts and opinions on the show and all that, join now. Get in, and we really appreciate everybody who is joining the community, helping to support the show and help us continue to grow the product that we're creating for you guys. So thank you very much to everybody who's already in the Dog Pack and to everybody who is even considering joining to see what it's all about. We appreciate you guys. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with the next part of this conversation with Derek Brown. Until I see you guys tomorrow, let's go Brownies.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Follow us on social media at the Dogs Podcast and join our Dog Pack community at jointhedogs.com. We are dogs!
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact that you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. They make it super simple. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with coverage options tailored to your choices. Plus, you'll see which discounts you may qualify for, like the online quote discount or savings for paying in full. In fact, 99% of Progressive Auto customers earn at least one discount. See if you could save when you switch to Progressive. You'll feel good about making a savvy choice. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little extra cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.